In this Eden Zero video, I want to talk about my hands-on experience with the latest demo for the game that's still available right now if you want to check it out yourself on PC as well as PlayStation 5. But first, you might be wondering, what is Eden Zero? Why should I care about it? Or even, be considering to get as a video game in the future? Well, as part of explaining that, I actually got to talk about the anime first, because this is another anime video game, action game, based on the manga series of the same name. So Eden Zero is a Japanese science fiction manga series written and illustrated by the same guy who did Fairy Tail, Hiro Mashima. It's been featured in the Shonen magazine from June 2018 to June 2024. Set in the fictional space-faring universe, the story follows Shiki Granbell, a boy with gravity powers who embarks on a voyage aboard the Titilier starship in search of a cosmic entity named Mother. And while I won't go into all the story details, things like that, it does stay true, the game, the demo, to the anime in terms of showing the early parts of the story, things like that you see in the anime. However, the demo for some reason doesn't get to that right away just yet. It does a cutscene, actually, like an opening movie that kind of goes through some of the early bits here and stories like that before you even played it, demo. Because you'll hit new game, and then after you go new game and start up the demo, it just goes right into when Shiki's a kid, talk to different characters here, because the character himself grows up around robots right on the planet he's on. And then kind of quickly goes over how he meets Rebecca and Happy. Happy the cat, same name from Fairy Tail. So same animation, similar things here because the same creator, stuff like that. But once past this opening movie and cutscene stuff here, you get put onto this ship where you eventually get to dealing with and fighting against Elsie Crimson. Not entirely sure why they use this as a tutorial for controls and battles, things like that, when they could just easily use the beginning, of the anime part where you essentially fight your adopted grandfather robot, basically, named Ziggy, the Demon King robot Ziggy, that is. I don't know why they just couldn't or did that, but okay, whatever. From a technical standpoint, though, I did have some issues with the demo, playing on PC. It kept freezing for some reason. Had to restart it a few times. I verified the files, things like that. The Steam integrity of the files, things like that. So yeah, for some reason it was being really wonky and weird for me at the start, but eventually was able to get it fixed. So that's a concern about how it's going to run on PC, because I'm definitely concerned it's going to not be optimized well on PC based on the demo performance initially. But like I said, it didn't last that long, and the rest of the demo worked pretty fine and good. Something else I found weird, though, in the LC fight is they introduced a new combat mechanic, but don't really give you enough time to actually use it. It's special skills, basically, with the R2 or right trigger. And they introduced it during this combat, but you don't really have time to use it because, the fight's not hard. You just use regular attacks, use your regular specials, the finishers. You don't really build it up in this fight to use. You essentially got to use it later on in a demo, and you can use it later on against another boss fighter too, and regular enemies. And then once you actually get done with the LC fight, though, transitions eventually into essentially the beginning of the anime, where you got the robot Michael you were talking to, and then Shiki's got the long hair, and then eventually runs into Rebecca, asks her to be his friend, like that. He does it in a weird, awkward way. He gets slapped like he does in anime, so like that. Meets Happy, and then it goes through the story beats of robots essentially on this planet betraying him, talking about humans are enemy and stuff like that, and he ends up fighting the Demon King, right? Just like in anime. The fight itself is easy, it's not all that challenging. It's a little disappointing. I was hoping there'd be more fun challenges in this game, and it's just not. It's relatively easy. This just feels a bit too easy. You can easily dodge it. The attack patterns are just too easily read, too easily predicted, because they just give you way too much time to read them and see them, stuff like that, which kind of is a shame. So I worry that this is going to be one of those anime games or games in general where it just feels too easy. Maybe it's trying to cater to a certain audience where it's they're trying to have more people get into it and be buying the game because it's not super difficult. And don't get me wrong, that's fine if you like to play games on easy mode, guys. Play games how you want to, but I feel like there should still be a fun challenge even on normal difficulty. After you beat the Demon King though, you get a little cutscene here, and then you go back to the ship and you can start the next story chapter or episode. And essentially that's about, getting your license, going around the city here, you're exploring a bit, seeing what stuff you can grab item-wise, stuff like that. Some more dialogue, cutscenes like that. Happy gets stolen, you gotta go rescue him. There's some optional enemies, you got like these elite enemy you can fight if you want. I believe here it's a space pirate captain, we're not basically like supposed to be, I guess, a mini boss of some kind. So decently tough. I mean, I had to heal, I didn't really heal too much or need to use healing items too much overall. But yeah, it was basically just the LC Crimson fight, then like this mini boss fight, and then the true second boss fight against Nipa. And this is where it introduces, the ability to switch characters. You can play as Rebecca, who ends up wielding Happy in his gun form. And essentially you can kick butt with her too in that form. I try to get her super off. I showcase Shiki's super, but I meant to get to hers as well too. I was just really having more fun with Shiki, honestly, over Rebecca. And I try to build up her like super special skill or ultimate. Just didn't get a chance to show it off and see what it was like in this game, but still she's pretty fun. No worries there. But this fight also was still pretty easy. Once again, just felt really easy, not really all difficult. His attacks were easily read, predicted, stuff like that. Enemies weren't too tough. Regular enemies were not really all that tough either. Exploration is, limited to these like linear type areas, not really open world or anything like that. I would say overall though, the animation is really good. Like the showcasing of like the specials, moves, things like that. The supers is all really good, flashy. That's fine. That's good. Like I said, didn't have any technical issues after the initial part of how things went. And I'll say the dialogue's pretty good too. I'll say that how they handle dialogue's pretty good, even though they obviously gotta, rush through some elements of the story because it is a video game. You can't be spent all day with trying to cover everything in every episode of anime and manga, stuff like that. So let's talk my final thoughts on my experience with playing Eden's Zero demo. Overall, I think it's going to be a solid game. I'm still a bit concerned about optimization issues on PC. We've been having a lot of issues still lately with just in general games not being properly optimized on PC. And I just hope it, does stuff from that. I worry about it being too easy for a lot of people where to the point it's a detriment to the game and maybe doesn't sell as well as it should. But who knows, maybe it'll be a bit different when it launches, be a day one patch, maybe some post, launch support, and maybe make some good adjustments to the game. We'll have to wait and see. Animations are good, the cutscenes are really good, like well done. Dialogue's good. And the combat is fun, like being able to pull off, those special moves and super stuff like that is satisfying, don't get me wrong. But I do hope that bosses are more challenging as you progress through the game and are more fun and more strategic in a sense, and just not these simple type of fights where there's, the boss only have so many moves and they're just easily readable. We'll wait and see though. I'll see how the reviews are. I believe this is also dropping on Game Pass Day 1. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments about that, but I believe it is coming on Game Pass. It is set to release on July 16th, and it's being developed and posted by Konami of all companies. Real quick too, before I end this video, let me actually cover this part, because I didn't actually say this. I talked about the anime itself, but I forgot to touch on the game itself. So the game itself is a new adaptation of Hiro Mashima's fantasy opus, Take Off to the Stars in Adventure. So you'll be playing through the original story, expanded with tons of game exclusive content and quests, all set within a vast open world. So apparently it is being touted as open world, but it didn't seem like it was open world to me in the demo. You'll take on awesome action-packed battles as they promote, but I don't know about them being really awesome action-packed in my opinion. Explore planets and make friends, venture across a near limitless world. They do promote it and tout that it's supposed to overpower enemies with combos and finishing attacks. Reach the same levels of strength with overboost, form special skills like I talked about, show out the power of your signature action, things like that. Because I will say the demo does make you feel really strong and kind of maybe a little too OP. And there will be new stories exclusive to the game you can experience. It's not going to be based on the manga or anime, so that'll be nice. And no, I was wrong actually. Its release date is on the July 15th, not 16th. I thought it was 16th because Steam said 15th, and usually Steam, for a reason like, will let you play the game a day early most of the time. And it will be released on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC via Steam and Microsoft Store. I apologize for misinformation. I am wrong actually about it being on Game Pass Day 1. I read somewhere that it was supposed to be on Game Pass Day 1, but I guess it's not. It's not officially going to be on Game Pass. You can buy it through Microsoft Store. I guess if you want to get it that way, but yeah. So my apologies on that, but that is going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something. Let me know your thoughts though on this. Is this something you're excited for or not? Have you tried a demo out? What do you think about the demo if you have? And does it make you feel like I do, or do you feel differently about it after playing the demo? Please sign off in the comments below. I would appreciate a thumbs up on this video, subscribe if you're new, and just help, grow the community, share the video out. Let's get more people in here, help build a backbone of the community. If you want to go above and beyond, consider doing that by, becoming a patron. There's YouTube memberships. There is my Twitch channel. You can also check out and follow me there. Twitch subs, things like that you can help support that way to help build a community up more and more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.